Kurt Waldrop again, and this is Radical Freedom. And hopefully soon I'll get a haircut. Otherwise, I'm going to look like the guy in Ancient Aliens. Yeah. Anyway, so it's February, Black History Month. So I thought I'd jump in here and explain why I'm not really a fan of anything set aside to honor someone just because of what they look like. Whether it's male or female, black, white, anything. Don't care. Probably going to offend a few people, but hey, it's what I do here. I call my show Radical Freedom, same as my first book, because let's face it, in the history of mankind, freedom has been a pretty radical idea. Now, one of the things that's been used to deprive people of their freedom has been racism. What exactly is race? Well, let's say they say there's the white race, the black race. Back in the old Nazi days, Hitler thought the Jewish people was a race unto itself. Yeah, what about white Jews? What about black Jews? Race is ridiculous. I've read of the Irish race, the Anglo-Saxon race, etc., ad nauseum. I've read that it is racist to want to stop illegal immigration, although I'm not sure what race illegals are supposed to be. I guess they're trying to say it's the Mexican race, but is that the same as the Canadian race? That's some people we got to watch. It's apparently racist to want voter ID. That's crazy. It's apparently racist to oppose any idea that the left happens to stick out there. Well, you ever get the impression that racist is just a word that they use for we don't like you? So you're like a poo-poo head, except they say racist because now they're all grown up. One of my favorites is that it's racist to oppose allowing universities to use race as a factor in admissions. Huh? So it's racist to make a decision based on race? No, it's racist to not want to allow someone to make a decision based on race. Yeah, I'm totally confused there. How does that work exactly? There are many today that don't like Martin Luther King Jr. much. I want you to know, maybe they're looking for some perfect human that, that perfection doesn't exist in a mortal man. Everybody that I've ever admired has had, character flaws of some sort or another, but Martin Luther King Jr., I got to say, I admire him very much. The man had guts. He was willing to fight. Peacefully, though. He didn't want to shed blood. He didn't want to hurt people. He wanted to make his point peacefully. And yeah, he was willing to die for what he was believing in, what was right. You have to really express some admiration for that, I think. I also have to admit, I love that he was a Republican. That takes the left off to no end if you remind them of it. He was a Republican until the day he died. So, I assume you remember what he had to say about racism?
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I love that dream. I really do. And I stand by that dream. I would love us to truly be a colorblind society. But as long as the Democrats, the left, and frankly, certain race-baiting poverty pimps can make a buck or get a vote from separating people by appearance, unity won't be possible. What do I say, race-baiting poverty pimps? People who throw out there how much they like one race over another. They're fighting for one race over another or against another. And as long as they get their way, the people they're supposedly representing live in poverty, but they're making a ton of cash. Yeah, that's a poverty pimp, folks. So, what exactly is racist then? Specifically, I like the old definitions. It's when you think one race is actually better or worse than another. It's when you blame an entire race for the actions of a few. That includes little children, by the way. Yeah, this is all because the kumquat race did this. What about the kids? They had nothing to do with it. Oh, no, they're equally guilty. What? Are you insane? Answer is, yeah, probably to a level. When you have one set of rules for people that look one particular way, and a different set of rules for people who look another way. Examples. Listen to some of the rap songs on the radio right now and ask yourself, can a white person sing this song and it be considered acceptable? To say the exact same words, would that be okay? Can there be a National Association of White People, or a United Caucasian College Fund, or a White History Month without people losing their mind? But if it's racist for one group, how come it's not racist for the other? What about a Congressional White Caucus, or any white student organization at a college? There are black versions of every single one of those things, so you'd think it must be okay, right? So just that one set of rules without anything special for anyone based on something so insanely trivial as the tint of their skin. Oh, but some people would say, what about white privilege? What about the evils of African slavery? What about Jim Crow laws and the need for reparations? Hey, newsflash, Scooter. I'm a, mostly white guy. I do have some Cherokee Indians in my family. My mom was a waitress. She worked for less than minimum wage, and I didn't rise above my birth status by blaming people. I got where I am by working my butt off. As far as slavery and reparations, there's been no legal slavery in the United States since 1865. Now, yeah, there's been some crazy stuff. And yeah, it seems like Democrats still want some level of slaves every time they say, who's going to pick our lettuce if we get rid of illegal aliens? Because we can pay them $0.25 an hour. Yeah, well, that's not slave wages or anything, but not saying that the Democrats were the ones responsible for slavery in the first place, but that's a different thing, right? I will say this. I do believe that every single surviving slave should be paid off for all of their hard work by every surviving slave owner. Seems fair to me. Not the descendants of the slave owners that had nothing to do with slavery paying off the descendants of slaves who have never worn a chain unless they went out and bought some cheap, ugly gold chain to wear as bling. Yeah. There are no surviving slave owners in the U.S. No one living here has ever owned a slave, at least not in America. Go to some countries, like, some Arabic countries, and yeah, there are slave owners. But not here. ISIS has quite a few right now. You still feel the need to blame the events of over 150 years ago because someone won't work, or someone is a single mother, or someone chooses not to be educated? Well, then you're an idiot. Yeah, I said it. I don't care what color you are. Pull up your damn pants, get a job, and improve your own life. No one wants to hear you sit there and whine and moan, oh, my life is so bad because I had an ancestor 150, let's see, it's now 2018. All the slaves were freed in 1865. So you do the math. How long ago has that been since you had a single slave in your family tree? Maybe it's because you're too damn lazy to work. Did your mom have a job? How about your grandma? How about your granddad? If you go back just a little ways, you're going to find hardworking people in your family. I don't care what color you are. Stop whining. It's a contagious disease and it's bad. Now, just a note. Little history here. People of every race in humanity have been slaves at some time to pretty much every other race on earth at some time in history. It's just happened. Whites have been slaves of whites. Blacks have been slaves of blacks. But these slaves went on and improved their lives. So does a point ever come where people just say, well, those events are ancient history, and to blame my condition today on that is frankly stupid? Yes, Dr. King, I agree wholeheartedly that we need to start only judging people on the content of their character if we're to move forward as a nation. But we need to throw such outdated concepts as race in the trash bin of history if we're ever to move on. We need to consider things like skin tint being important as being outmoded as quickly as we possibly can. I also have my own dream. I can't say it as well as Dr. King, but when a baby can be born in the USA without having to put on their birth certificate what race they are, when a census can be taken without a box to check for what race you are, when the only thing that race refers to is a sporting event, I have a dream. And that will be the culmination of it. When we can be Americans instead of American. Yeah, that's my dream. I will always be opposed to anything that divides Americans into different groups, because dividing us only makes us weaker. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please go down there, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, okay, I get it. Give me a thumbs down. And tell me why you disagreed. Down there in the comments section. Most of all, I really hope you subscribe, because your subscriptions are what allows me to keep making these videos. And I hope to grow this channel and keep this going. Right now, it's just kind of an experiment. We'll see where it goes. Last thing, if you really like the way I think, go to Amazon.com and take a look at my book, Radical Freedom. I cover a little of everything in it that's been eating at our constitutional freedoms, and I try to propose a few solutions to them as well. If Amazon says that they're sold out or it's out of print, don't believe them. That means if you order one, they bake one fresh in the oven and ship it to your home right on the spot. You should have it within a week, and if you're on Amazon Prime, you might even have it as quickly as tomorrow or the next day. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching. Very much appreciate it. This is Kurt Waldrop, and I'll see you next time on Radical Freedom. Bye.